Yo VC, it's your old pal Dom here. Gonna hit you with a bunch today. This is a non-absorbing vinyl non-absorption, we'll call it. Not actually the case. I've absorbed these records. I'm just not gonna spend a lot of time on them. Well, we'll get into that in a second. First of all, thank you very much for joining me this Sunday, 3 o'clock on a Sunday Eastern. I'm doing it a little different time. I am doing one of those new release live streams. I haven't done one in maybe 6 months. I have about 6, 7, 8 titles that I am offering for sale and that we'll play and we'll discuss. You can order them right from me for the best price possible on the internet. That's what I'm going to say. Especially if you live in the US. So that's this Sunday at 3 o'clock. It'll probably be a 2-hour stream, and I do plan at the end of that to sell some more records from my personal collection, because we are very close to announcing the Material Objects LP that will be our first LP after 2 EPs. We are done mixing. We are going to be mastering, direct to analog mastering in a week and a half, I think. And we have used all of our money. We are using a shitload of money. A shitload of money. Not that we hadn't before, but this one, thanks to everyone selling out and ordering the last EP, we had plenty of money to use to complete the recording, do all of the recording in its entirety, which included going to Chicago, all of that. Recording here, and actually in all the mixing. All the mixing and recording has been covered from the sale of our last record. But we still have to pay for mastering and pressing, so I am going fundraiser mode. There will be a Material Objects fundraiser within 2 weeks. That'll be another live stream. I'll get into that later. But this Sunday, maybe we'll touch a little bit on the Material Objects LP that's coming up, but it will primarily be about selling and discussing new releases, and yes, anywhere from 8 to 10, maybe more, maybe less, we'll see, from my personal collection, because I do need to start raising money. I've already pulled more reissues. It is sell time, and it's mainly because I just don't want to dip into personal funds for the band. So I'm using the power of the records that I have to help fund the Material Objects record. Our tour is close to being announced. I got a lot to discuss with the band. But that doesn't mean January has been devoid of buying records. Oh, no, no, no. I've bought some really good ones. And in order to pave the way to do vinyl absorption videos, which are going to continue for the new stuff I have, that's primarily from January and some December, I wanted to go through a pretty hefty pile of records here that are all from fall and late 2024. They're all worthy of that vinyl absorption series I'm doing. I've listened to all these at least 2 or 3 times, some of them more. But I want to do it express style. I want to go through these quick to file them. It's effectively like a Shure video, filing records that are on the floor, which they were. They were actually on the floor. But I do want to give these records their due, so I'm just going to be pretty quick about each one. And we're going to move the fuck on. And it's going to be great. And we're going to talk about vinyl absorption within sometime soon. Pretty soon. I got some really stuff I'm quite excited about. I have a couple of leads, and maybe, I believe 1 record secured for my 2025 list. It's going a little slow going, but that's okay. Not to worry about it. All right, let's get into it, because I probably have 30-something records here. We're listening to Cockpit Music, a record I got at WFMU. This is a Danish. I thought this was a comp. I was in the stratosphere of buying records, and in a tizzy of being confused. I know I bought this with the Electro record, but this is a one and only pressing. Cockpit Music, Danish experimental no wave, as you're hearing, sort of a bit of a free jazz. This is a double LP from 1982, and yeah, we're gonna listen to it. That's what we're listening to. It's a double LP, as I said. They do have other releases. Yes, they have records all the way from up to 2010, and like 4 or 5 records in the 80s. This is their first one, Cockpit Music. This is on the, let's see, Karma Music. This is on the Karma Music label. Richard Dick Landry, original pressing from WFMU, having been built on sand. I just absolutely love this album. It's that spoken word. It's having been built on sand with a bass. If you've heard this record, you know that they repeat that ad nauseum. From 1978, you have the voices of Britta Levar, Tina Girouard, Lawrence Weiner, and Richard, a.k.a. Dick Landry. This is a private press on his own label. A German, actually, no, it's not true. It's on a German label. Yeah, you can find it. Richard Dick Landry. Really interesting. One of these records that if on the surface you feel like, do I need this? And then as you get sucked into it, you'll be like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do need this. And I'm looking for the other Dick Landry record. This hasn't been shown before. Dizzy Reese, Possession, Exorcism, Peace. One and only pressing on the Honeydew label, which is sort of a budget label, but this is the only pressing of this. This is a really interesting, a bit funky, a little bit modal jazz record from, what is it, 72? 77, actually, much later. Steve Grossman, Richard Barak, an unidentified sitar and tambura player, Leslie Granage, Dizzy Reese, of course, and Pablito Rolari, conga percussion. Really good sort of mix of styles on this. Alex first made me aware of this. He showed this at some point, and it piqued my interest, so it went into a want list, and it popped up for a very nice price. So there it is. Dizzy Reese, Possession, Exorcism, and Peace. Another one from WFMU, and not at all coming up here. A minor record. Dariush Dolsat Shahi, music for tar and electronics, essentially electronic music for tar and sitar. So cool. So cool. This is from 1985. This came from, I talked about it in my WFMU video. Very cool merging of those styles. Very transportative, we'll say. Beautiful album. Not hard, or I should say very hard to find these records. The other record on Folkways, this one's on Folkways, of course. It's probably even harder to find. I've never seen this one before, so me and Brandon were talking with the dealer in Georgia, what's his name, Low Yo-Yo, and it had to come home. David Chesworth, this one I got back in Montreal in, August. This is the third or fourth record on Rampant, no particular place. All little mini suites of synthesizer and sort of out there minimal synth, I guess, and some sort of like bit of a pop leaning to it. Really cool. I'm looking at some other records of his. Don't know if they'll come my way. We'll see. I haven't shown this yet, but the lesson here is Torn Light Records in Chicago. Sign up for the mailing list right now. Torn Light Records. They do stuff on Discogs. I discovered them because as a regular practice, by the way, is when I see something on Discogs from an obvious brick and mortar record store, I always see if they have it on their website for sale. It usually means you can get it for cheaper, sometimes without tax, and a better deal. Torn Light Records is one of those places. They had this original pressing of Kochi Moon by Harumi Hosono. Discounted. They did a discount in December, and they do a weekly newsletter where they talk about all the new books that they're putting out in their store and use records. And they update that list every week. The newsletter is great. The used records, they have photographs of the actual record. They do accurate grading, their own descriptions. Like, this is a great store and a great site, a great resource. You're not going to find a ton, but it's very curated and handpicked. And they had this for not an incredibly amazing deal, but after the sale discount that they were doing in December, it ended up being quite a good deal. So this is the original pressing, of course, on the King label. No Obi, who gives a shit. What is it, 1978. Torn Light Records, I'll put a link to them below. A few here that I pulled out from the collection that are old that I've been meaning to play. Asala 80 by Peter Lemur. A bonkers African meets free organ monster. This I bought from him directly. You can still buy copies of this at Last Check from the UK. Not cheap, but considering what the secondhand prices go for this, it's cheaper. And I think Dave even got a signed copy. Asala 80, this is, I don't know what the label is. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that. Association Culturelle Al Muhit. This is a bonkers record. I pulled this out. Me and Alex were talking about this record. This is not Morning Trip. William Eaton's music is sort of all, was it auto harp, or is it there? Very much in the postmodern folk sort of spirit. This is the original pressing. There is a reissue on the Morning Trip label. Beautiful textured sleeve. I got it for really cheap, like $25 because of that. So, but look how nicely it presents. You wouldn't know that. So I pulled this out to play it again, and it's definitely not getting sold. It's a really sweet album. It's from the late 70s. William Eaton. This is an old Psych record in my book. This is a reissue, the first reissue though. I'm not selling this one, of The Rising Storm. A really haunted, light, garagey, a garage Psych merge, but with a real ghostly, haunted vibe throughout. This is a sweet record. The Rising Storm, Calm Before. This is on the Stanton Park label. There's this one song that we've been listening to a ton, A Message to Pretty. This is a great record. Absolutely highly recommend this one. This is not an original pressing I'll be able to come by, if you can even find it, and you have all sorts of dumb money to throw around. I gotta pay for a mastering engineer, folks. Bought this in a collection. I've been buying some collections, people. I'm just saying. Wonderwall music, the first actual solo record by a Beatle, and this is a soundtrack. We won't spend much time on it. This is a really enjoyable listen. Wonderwall. Didn't have it, so I do now. On the Apple label. Nice copy. This was a Christmas present. This band played Angry Mom Records. Light Beams, Wildlife on Discord. Well, it's a half Discord, half... it's a split release. I can't quite make out the other label. Like I said, we're not going to spend a ton of time, but it's half Discord. This one's... Man, they're certainly in the punk spirit, but what they do is they bring a lot of exuberance, a lot of fun, sort of a lot of free exploration. I won't say pop, but I'll say free exploration, post-punk, sort of post-disco-y, fun and fast and quick to get right to it. Light Beams from Washington, D.C., but of course. Another one from WFMU, Elodie Lotin, on the Cat Collectors record label. It's very beautiful piano postmodern LP. Really got this for a great price. Concerto for Piano and Orchestral Memory. You should be somewhat familiar with her. She only has a few records, or she has it all on her own label there. It was at a dealer. I can't remember the dealer. He had a whole smattering of mostly stuff I wasn't totally interested in. Interesting records. I mean, just wasn't for me, but then I saw this, and this was the one I grabbed from him. I listened to this a bunch. I really wanted to do a bigger thing on this. Maybe when I find more of her records, we'll do an absorption on that. 2 copies of Christening for Listening by what's his name? A Soundtrack for the Sound and Body by Stephen Halpern. Both of these copies I got for now. These are not the sample version, but they're still. One's got the blank back, and one has that back. This one is not as in nice shape. The one with the blank back is in better shape. Obviously, the one with the text on the back, but neither of these have the funky sample track that make this record really expensive. However, even these copies, those 70s reissues, they're not cheap, but I got these for I think $20 and $28, and I'm definitely keeping one of them. I love this music. I don't even care about that funk sample, really. The music is just beautiful. This is a beautiful, spiritual, ambient, new age record. It's from the 1975. One of these will stay with me, one of these will go to you. But I highly recommend this Stephen Halpern. Maybe if I come across the earlier version with the funk track with the sample, one of the dealers on Sunday at WFMU had it. He wanted a stupid amount for it. I mean, I thought that was a little overpriced, but whatever. I didn't get it, obviously, but I love the rest of the record. So another one from the WFMU. Obviously, I'm cleaning through that stack. Listened to this about 4 times. Patterns by Noah Howard. This thing's this thing's good, man. This thing is good. I'm not giving it its full due as it ends up in this pile. This thing is fucking good. Han Benek, Earl Freeman, Misha Mendelberg, obviously those players, the Scandinavian players are here, German players. And Jaap Schoonhoven on electric guitar. And Noah Howard, alto, bells, timpani, tambourine. It's the original pressing on alt sax. This thing's so good. This was an experiment. Tom Minko mentioned it's because he's a Connecticut guy. This is Connecticut Private Press. The band is, this is the name of the title, On St. John's Eve. And the band is, I always forget this. We gotta take it out to find out. I like that they circled on the back. Only play this cut. So clearly this is a radio station. It's on the Faro label out of Glastonbury, Connecticut, 1976. Oh yeah, Columbus Circle. Interesting. It's not, you'd think that this would be some hard free jazz. It's not. It's a little more like the Faros actually, and a little like that Detroit group that I'm forgetting the name of, the Detroit sound, but this is from Connecticut. Griot Galaxy, a little like that. This Folkways record, bunch of FMU stuff here. Barton McLean. Well, it is Barton and Priscilla McLean. Electro-symphonic landscapes, whale sounds, or sounds of the sea. This is the song of the Nahuatl. This is not the Whale Sounds record. That's a different record by them. But Invisible Chariots and Song of the Nahuatl, certainly field recordings in space. I love this. I put this on at work, and people just look at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I say, we're listening to ambient field recordings. Deal with it. It's Folkways, people. Come, great, excellent early 90s on Matador with Thalia Zedek and Chris Codene's on it. Or Chris Brokaw, Chris Brokaw from Codeine, who's playing guitar. Really solid noise rock, early 90s sound, but I mean that in a good way. This one, the pop group, I replaced the reissue of this original pressing. I got this from Torn Light. You can see it was $60, but it was discounted 20%, I think it was. This is a Japanese pressing. Y, pop group. Great funk, UK post-punk funk. Yeah, there it is. Great. I got this late last year, Dead Sea Yusa Kills. This was popped up for the right price in the US. This is the original Flying Nun on these labels. That's how it came, because it's from the late 80s, early 90s. This is one of their earliest records. This is seeing them in sort of lo-fi, scrappy, jangly mode. Less of the sort of abstract noise and sort of like out and about, we'll call it. In the Dead Sea Yusa Kills. If you don't know them, Bruce Russell and Michael Morley, long-running experimental Danish duo from New Zealand on the Flying Nun label. I need to replace one record of theirs that I sold, or no, that's not true. I gave to a friend, so I will get that soon. There's a few I need to get, but this was one I was hoping to grab at some point. So there it is. All right, I've been enjoying knocking out these Pram records as they turn up. I've been patient. I haven't really gone to overpay them from abroad. Maybe one I got in the UK for a nice price. Otherwise, they've been popping up here slowly. I got 3 different Pram records last year at WFMU of 2023. This is the Iron Lung EP, and a really, one of their really excellent ones. This is from, was it 93, 94? On 2 Pure Force. This is a red vinyl. You know, so known for their use of the kitchen sink, toy instruments, dub, electronic-ish. So hard to classify, with a great vocal sound, and truly truly pulls you in. I've played this for a few people who never heard of them, and they were like, "What is this? What is this? What is this?" 4 tracks. Pram Iron Lung EP, one of their absolute standout releases. This I got a while ago. Dale Hawkins. Now I've had a copy of this, and I upgraded from Angry Mom, a cleaner copy. This is a promotional DJ copy. Swampy, yeah, it's that swampy funk thing with some excellent songs. It's white label promo, or it's this type of promo. It's not a full white label, but it's a light blue on the Bell label. One of my favorite 60s label designs. Right in line with Amy Mala. Anyway, LA, Memphis, Tyler, Texas. He's taking sort of country and some sort of staple tracks and redoing them in his own style. There's some really great rhythmic feel to this one. Ruby, Don't You Take Your Love to Town by Mel Tillis is awesome. Some original songs. He's mostly known for writing Susie Q, right? Yeah, Dale Hawkins. This is his first record post that. That original Dale Hawkins record on, I guess it's Chess, I think, right? Very tough one to find. This is his follow-up from 1970. And Ry Cooder's on this. James Burton, Joe Osborne, certainly studio musicians. Who's the producer? I want to get the producer. Who else is on this of note? Linda Waring, David Stanley, Bugs Henderson. It's self-produced apparently, because he was a name, believe it or not. Bobby Charles, 2 songs are Bobby Charles songs, La 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 and Joe. That's a great one. Joe's really good. Lieber and Stoller's Hound Dog. But Ruby, Don't You Take Your Love to Town is a real cool piece here. I don't know if anyone knows this one. It's not that expensive. This will run you, a clean copy will run you about $40. I had a more beat copy that I found for nothing that I traded in to get this. This is a nice copy, so see if you can look this one up. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone talk about it. I believe it's 1970. Excellent. A little psyche, a little psychedelic, a little country funk. I think he had a track on one of the country funk comps. I did buy the Velvet Underground Loaded. I'm not really going to talk much about it other than to show this and tell you that this sounds fucking good. I compared it to my original. I like them both. I'm not going to say it sounds better, but I really wanted to hear an audiophile pressing of this record because Velvet Underground is a top band. For anyone? Yes. Should be for anyone. For me? Yes. This is not my favorite Velvet Underground album, but look at that. I did buy a fucking audiophile. Analog Productions record. They did a good job. This is an early second press of Germs GI. Always one I wanted, never wanted to buy it, for the online price. I knew at some point I'd see it here at Angry Mom, and I did. This is the Slash 83 pressing. I think it's got... Yes, it has got the cool t-shirt insert for the merch offer. Gotta love that. Look how well placed those shirts look. There's Mr. Pat Smear, Darby Crash, of course, and Lorna Doone, and Don. Who was Don again? He was in the Germs. That's who he was. Yeah, not a type. I don't really go for like the classic punk sound all that much, but if it's here and I can get it for my discounted price, then I do it. And it is a nice copy, but a second pressing. I'm good. This is also a second pressing, but I bought it as an original pressing. No. Was I happy? No. But did the dealer make it right? Circle Game in Detroit? Props to you. Thank you. I think they were just listed it a little too quick. It's a easy to error to miss. But this is a reissue, and it's only running about $40-50, and that's basically after discount what they did for me. This is a record I can't find clean. WFMU, they wanted a lot for it. The same dealer with the Stephen Halpern had it. He wanted way too much for a beat up copy, and I believe that was probably an original first German pressing. This is a second German pressing, but it is in very nice shape, so this will stick with me for a little while. This has been a hard one to get. I have Germans on most of them. I have a first US on Future Days, Germans on the other early threes, first US on Soon Over Babaluma, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm moving too fast, people. This is the first record with Damo Suzuki on some tracks. It is soundtrack. It is pieces taken from all these really obscure soundtracks they did. Michael Mooney is still on this too, so it's sort of a transitional record, but not meant as a proper album, but is every bit as good as all those classic hand records. This was one from WFMU2. This is from, Trinidad and Tobago. The last recording of soloist National Mbaraka Munchefe. And the Orchestra Super Volcano. Sorry, Nairobi. Out of Nairobi. Not in the best shape, but I mean, I was hooked and intrigued by this record cover. Don't think I knew this artist at all. Don't think I did. It's on that blue Polydor label. And it's great, funky high life. It's got an Anya Bohr thing. Includes that single Sheeta. Excellent. I showed this last time, but I've been enjoying listening to this. We listened to this today up at work, and everyone was being put to sleep by it. It was way too relaxing. But is that bad? Maybe. Paula Anna Strom. This is a compilation of her tapes, Transmillennium Music on Revenge International. I got this in Syracuse earlier this year. It's a double LP. Probably where I'll live with her for now. Those original pressings are to the point and for what it is that I'm not interested in paying for that. And I'm also going to file this along with everything you just saw. The Lou Harrison Gamelan LP on CRI. I played this on one of the videos I did. A nice one. Let's see if you can find this one out there. It's from 1981. Lou Harrison, composer and master of the gamelan. That's it. That was quick. We did it relatively quick. I hope everyone liked that run through. I do and will get back to the focused vinyl absorptions where I look at 12 to 14 records. So look for that to come very soon. Live stream this Sunday, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on this channel. New release discussion. Some more personal records to sell from my collection. And we'll just shoot the shit. And yes, stay tuned for big Material Objects announcement. We'll be looking for some help, but we're gonna hit it hard in 2025. So take care, everyone. I'll be talking with you soon.